In this series of videos, I've been looking at the Scottish Government's relationship, sexual health and parenthood resources to be used in schools. And they're obviously designed to promote the government's official philosophy in all of these areas. But hey, while you've got a captive audience, why not preach on a few other pet themes as well while we're at it? And that's exactly what they're planning to do. After all kids have got the right to know that the SNP's views of the world are correct in all areas, surely. Needless to say, one of the areas to be preaching about in schools is feminism. Now, only a small portion of the population describe themselves as feminists, so that should indicate to the government this is an area of controversy. It's not an area to just wade in and promote one particular view to children, but oh no, they take the opposite view. The fact that most people don't describe themselves as feminists shows that we need to work even harder to indoctrinate kids into feminism in schools. So here we go. Feminism is a movement to bring about equal rights for women. Feminism is about making sure women and girls can be free to be who they want to be. Right, I would disagree with that. Contemporary feminism is about eliminating all differences between men and women and liberating women from the alleged oppression of motherhood. So what do school kids need to know about feminism? Although women make up 51% of the population, they are in a minority in positions of power like being an MSP. Only 1 in 3 are women. Yeah, but the women run the place, if they haven't noticed. And women tend to be less interested in politics than men overall. Women tend to have less ambitions in the political direction than men overall on average. That explains the difference, but oh no. It's an injustice. The school kids all need recruiting en masse into the ranks of feminist campaigners. Right, here's another grievance that the kids need to be put on the alert for. Women might be paid less than men for doing the same or a similar job. Keyword similar. Who decides what's a similar job? Obviously the feminist grievance hunters and anyone who's looking for a big payout, like the women who've had 5-figure sums from Glasgow City Council, using up more than a third of their annual budget. In almost all big companies, there's a gender pay gap, so on average women workers earn less than men. And I've talked about this lots of times before. There are lots of explanations why that is, but this is priming girls in particular to have their antennae up looking for injustice in the workplace. And this is going to cost companies millions and millions of pounds in the future as these spurious cases are brought by women who somehow or other claim that they've been underpaid compared to men for doing a different job. Another area of indoctrination is LGBT issues. Now, there have been 2 messages coming through in this regard so far on the materials. That's been basically, you do as you like, kids. You can choose homosexual relationships, changing gender. That's all entirely up to you. Don't let anyone tell you that that's not a good idea. And the other message coming through is it's your duty to endorse other people's choices. So primary school kids, you have to approve of the sexual choices of adults, you have to approve of people changing gender, etc. But what we've got here is something different. We've got explicit endorsement of the LGBT activist political cause. Lots of positive changes have happened to make the lives of LGBT people fair and equal. Things like equal marriage so that LGBT couples can get married. Now let's imagine, say, you're a Muslim boy sitting in the lesson there, and you know that your family, the teachings of your religion, actually say that same-sex marriage is not a good thing, but your teacher's telling you you're wrong, your parents are wrong, your religion's wrong. The official view of this country is that same-sex marriage is a good thing. This is the SNP that talks about celebrating diversity and respecting different cultures, all that sort of thing. Forget it. Right, what next? LGBT people can become parents and carers by adopting or fostering children. Right, I don't think that's a good thing. I think children need a mum and a dad, ideally, so I'd have reservations about that. But again, not a bit of it. The children are taught fact. The LGBT activists are right and everyone else is wrong. What do you think has brought about some of the positive changes that have helped make things more equal for LGBT people? So what's brought about the positive changes? Well, people have stopped taking any notice of the teachings of churches, for example. That could be a right answer, I assume. Is that right, miss? Probably. Being part of the LGBT community has meant so much to me in the past few years. Through events like Pride, LGBT youth events and workshops, I've met wonderful people who all celebrate and accept each other. In other words, in the LGBT campaigning community, we're wonderful people, and come and join us, and our political activism, such as Pride marches, have got the stamp of approval of your school. The rainbow flag has become the symbol of pride. Rainbow flags have been used by many cultures and struggles. For the pride flag, each colour represents something. Life, healing, sunlight, nature, serenity, spirit. I mean, you'd think this had been written by Stonewall. And the reason is that it literally probably has. And the reason they get away with this sort of blatant indoctrination with the feminism and with the LGBT things is the weakness of MSPs in the Scottish Parliament. Okay, all the parties are on board for this, and there's no even individual MSPs who will stand up against it. Therefore, that lets the government get away with acting as though these were not controversial issues. These are things that just everyone agrees on. Put a couple of Scottish Family Party MSPs in there, and that consensus is shattered, and these issues will be seen as politically controversial, which is exactly what they should be. That would just reflect the diversity of opinion within Scottish society. If you're happy for Scottish schools to continue to be indoctrination camps, preaching a secular, liberal, progressive message at every possible opportunity, then all you need to do is vote SNP, Labour, Lib Dem, Greens or Conservatives. If you want this to change, you need to support the Scottish Family Party. And the best way to do that is to join us. There's a link. You can join us right now. Thanks for watching.